Hey Gia, if you can hear me, go ahead and message me through WhatsApp. Paleo webinar is going to begin in just about 20 minutes. If you guys are out there, I'm excited to talk to you. Hey guys, I am so excited to get ready to start this webinar. We're going to be starting in just about 1 minute. There are a couple people still logging in, so we will get started so soon. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. So just a few things that I wanted to go over so that this webinar runs smoothly. If you guys have your YouTube unrestricted, you can go ahead and turn that off. And then there's also a chat bar on the side. If you guys can see where it says chat, I've posted a couple things there. If you guys want to go ahead and test it out, you can write your name and where you're from if you want to, and I can do a couple of shout outs. And I know some of you are on your phone, so you might not be able to see it, but that's okay. So we're going to have so much fun tonight, and I'm excited to share this stuff with you. I know that it's going to make a huge impact in your life. I have been sitting here reading some of the stories from our October group, and it's been definitely amazing to see some of the things that they've gotten out of paleo. So I can't wait to dive into this, and I hope that you guys are as excited as I am. All right, we are going to jump straight into this. I see a couple more people logging in, so we'll go ahead and jump right in. So the title of this webinar is How to Make Your Paleo Diet Stick Without Sacrificing the Things That You Guys Love. And I know it sounds 100% crazy, but it is possible, I promise you. So here's what you guys are going to learn. The title, the surprising truth behind why paleo is not expensive, why paleo is no more time consuming than your current diet, and the simple time savers that I use to cut my prep time in half, and how to cook delicious meals that your friends and family are not even going to believe they're paleo. And seriously, you guys, if you apply what I teach you today, I can personally guarantee that you guys are going to begin to experience life on a whole new level. So hear me out, because this stuff is going to change everything that you think you know about paleo. Now, before we start, if you guys stay until the end, I'm going to do a 20-minute question and answer session right here on the webinar. And this is really going to give you a time to ask those questions that you're still concerned about, or things that you don't really know, or that you want to know about paleo, or even just healthy lifestyle changes in general, or questions about what our previous clients and stuff have gotten out of the program. So that'll give you a time to really ask those questions. All right, so is that cool? We are gonna go ahead and get started. And if you guys could just shut down your email, your social media, cell phones, anything that can distract you from this webinar. If you guys don't pay attention, none of this is gonna help you. And I really have a lot to cover in a short amount of time, and I don't want you guys to miss anything. Awesome, I'll give you just a minute to shut that down. And hopefully everyone is ready. So like I said, if you guys want to use the webinars on your chat box, you can see that on the side, and I've already written some messages in there. Feel free to ask questions along the way, and I will answer them as I see them, and also during the question and answer time. And again, if you can't see the screen, try unrestricting your YouTubes, and definitely ask a lot of questions along the way. So for those of you who don't know already, my name is Kimberly, and I've been paleo for almost 5 years. In fact, this month, November, is going to be our 5-year celebration of paleo. And I've just been truly blessed with the opportunity to help many people on their paleo journeys and to see lives changing drastically. So here's the thing. 5 years ago, I was just like you. I was in and out of the doctors and tired and exhausted. I was depressed and anxious and having panic attacks so severe that my husband almost had to call 911. I had a colonoscopy and I was told that there was nothing wrong with me. And what that did was not only did it embarrass me, but I was also nervous that they were missing something. I thought for sure that I was dying and that they couldn't find anything, or, just something was being overlooked because they kept saying that it was just stress. And I just got scared and honestly felt like I was only going to feel worse. And if I didn't figure things out, I didn't even know what was going to happen. So I remember taking a Xanax one time when we were going home to visit my family, and we had to go through the Baltimore tunnels, and I hate the tunnels. But we passed this car along the way, and I told my husband, I was like, hey, that car's on fire. And he was like, oh, like smoking? And I said, no, it had flames shooting out of the hood. He told me it was the most emotionless that I have ever sounded. And that should have been one of those times that I was like, oh my gosh, a car is on fire. I just didn't feel like myself on medication. And that was really the point for me, that I decided that enough was enough, and I didn't want to be a victim to medications, and I didn't want to feel like a zombie anymore. My husband was basically in the same boat. He had gained over 50 pounds since high school, and he developed some bladder problems that made him in and out of the doctors. And of course, they chalked it up to stress and couldn't find anything wrong with him either. And he had to use the restroom all of the time. He could barely make it the 2-hour drive without stopping a couple times each trip. So he was dealing with debilitating stress and anxiety and felt tired and unmotivated. He couldn't even make it around to golf with my dad without having to use the bathroom. And so he would get out of breath, and he just decided that it was time for him to really make a drastic change. Some of our friends at the time were paleo, and they, were telling us all about it, and we were not buying it. I was so skeptical. But Brandon's friend was pretty convincing. So 3 days before Thanksgiving, 5 years ago, we jumped right in. And it was really, really hard at first. And, we just were not prepared for it. But in 10 days, we were both so in love with our paleo lifestyle. People began seeing the changes right away. Brandon lost over 60 pounds in the first 3 months, and I lost more weight than I had, even dreamed of. I had always struggled with my weight, and I lost weight, which I didn't think was possible. But even more important than the weight loss, I gained my health back. And in just 10 days, I started sleeping better, and I had more energy, and I felt incredible. And in just 10 days, my husband started losing weight. And now I haven't even taken a Xanax in almost 5 years. With that, we also began running races and training for triathlons together. And we started working out and playing and going on all of these new adventures that we really hadn't been able to do since Brandon had to use the bathroom all the time. So he always had to be within running distance of a bathroom that we couldn't, go on these long trips or journeys. So it's been amazing. And Brandon also suffered, like I told you, from social anxiety, but now he's the bassist in our church, and they play for, over 1,000 people every Sunday, and there he is center stage rocking out. So he's really improved a lot there, and even taken on some leadership roles at work. And he definitely manages his stress more effectively. So friends and family began asking me if I can help them to go paleo. And I know from my own experiences and from the people around me that there's something truly powerful about the paleo journey, and people need to know about it. I've had the privilege of watching several people's lives change because of paleo. I struggled with my weight and digestive health all my life, and I know it can be so hard. So that's really why my goal is to help you guys gain health, lose weight, and experience energy and happiness like you've never felt. But you know something? It was really, really tough. I did a lot of things wrong in the beginning. We fell into those pitfalls in our first weeks of paleo, where we stressed about what was and wasn't paleo. We also allowed ourselves to cheat with pizza from our favorite restaurants and brownie fudge sundaes at the beach. And, we would feel terrible afterwards, but we still did it. And at that time, we really didn't know all about the health benefits and the science of how these foods could heal. And we were also working full time and long hours, so we didn't have a ton of time to spend in the kitchen. We struggled with the emotional toll that it took on us too. We dealt with a lot of unwanted opinions from some people, and it made it really stressful. So I tell you all of that because I want you guys to know that I'm going to be real with you along this entire journey. And without proper guidance, paleo is really hard. And that's why, I just always share my paleo story as it is. So at the same time, we did a lot of things right too. we had support, and that is always the very first piece of advice that I tell anyone starting out on their journey. Find someone to do life with. Luckily for me, it's my husband, and he's right here with me every single step of the way. The majority of people who fail at paleo generally fail because they feel alone and overwhelmed with paleo. When you don't have a support system in any aspect of your life, you're going to feel like something's missing, and you're going to start to, with paleo, you're going to start to backslide on the foods that you should be eating, and you're going to get back into your regular eating habits. We stuck with paleo even though we weren't perfectly paleo all of the time. We definitely had our days where we failed miserably, but we picked ourselves up and worked through it, and we supported each other and followed through to meet the goals that we had set for ourselves. We started meal planning to save time, and we quit stressing about what we could and could not eat. See, in the end, I'm a real life case study of what paleo is and the massive effects that it can have on people's lives. So if I can't give you the facts, then who can? So I want you guys just to think for a second. Just think about this with me. Can you imagine a healthier, happier, and more energetic version of yourself in just a few short weeks? I want you to seriously envision it. How would that make you feel? What are your friends or your spouse going to say when they see your transformation? What impression is that going to give you? What impression is that going to have on your family and the people surrounding you? I think it's so exciting. These are really what drove me to where I am today, and I promise you that it will drive you guys to achieve the same life-changing results. Our last group had so many amazing results, and the stories that people were sharing with me were just, incredible. And I know that some of you are on this webinar are inspired by people from our previous program. So I think that's awesome that they too are now taking their paleo journey and making it something to inspire others. So, all right, guys, let's dive into this before I get too emotional. So I'm going to share with you guys 3 secrets that we're going to cover. So if you have a pen or paper, or you guys are note takers, now's the time that you guys can grab that. I'll give you a second. So secret number 1, paleo is not expensive. This is a huge one. I know I get this all of the time, that paleo is expensive. So it's definitely something that we are going to cover today. Secret number 2, paleo is not too time consuming. I know when I first started paleo, this is what I definitely thought. I can't do this. It's so, I don't have any time at all left. And so I'm definitely going to share with you guys how I have all these little tricks that definitely save me time. And secret number 3, you don't have to give up your favorite foods. I know this one is so far-fetched, and you guys are thinking it's a diet. It's called a diet. I have to diet. What do you mean I don't have to give up foods? But trust me, it happens all the time, and I'm going to walk you through it all so you can see that I'm not making this stuff up. So we'll get right into it. Secret number 1, paleo is not expensive. This one's a biggie because people always think paleo is super expensive to maintain. So let me tell you something that may surprise you. I'm actually spending less as a result of going paleo. Now, before I explain, let me talk to you about why you might have this belief. Yes, organic produce is more expensive than non-organic produce. And yes, grass-fed meat and free-range eggs are more expensive than regular meat and eggs. And yes, all the different flours and coconut sugars are so expensive. But here's the thing. Just because all of the ingredients are more expensive, it doesn't necessarily make going paleo more expensive. And this is how I can prove it to you guys. Living paleo has actually saved us over $6,000 a year. Isn't it crazy? Think of what you guys could do with an extra $6,000 a year. Vacation, college funds for your kids, extra fun money, whatever you guys can think of. We visit the doctor maybe once a year now for physicals, and we aren't paying that $25 copay once a month. And we're no longer paying $30 for each prescription refill every couple of months. And we no longer make all of these $600 ER trips, multiple times a year because I think that I'm dying and I have to have someone take me to the ER. So paleo has definitely saved us money. When we started actually paying attention to how much we spent between eating out and groceries each month, it was around $350 a week. After going paleo, our food bill actually decreased around $200 a week. And I know you guys are thinking like, why? How is that possible? So organic is expensive and grass-fed costs more. Flours are insanely expensive, and all of those pre-made paleo foods are so overpriced. And I know that you guys think that. When I got pregnant with my son, I resigned from teaching and we moved to Delaware. Our yearly income decreased by almost half. It was unbelievable and definitely had to go with the flow, but we really had to start paying attention to the cost of food, and we began price comparing foods at the local grocery store, and we didn't always shop organic. I know that one of the things people say when you're paleo is everything has to be organic and grass-fed, and here's the secret there is we stick to the dirty dozen. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's apples, celery, strawberries, peaches, spinach, nectarines, grapes, bell peppers, potatoes, blueberries, lettuce, and then your things like collards and kale. These are what we buy organic because they're the highest in pesticides, and I can send you more information about that if you are interested in it. So those are what we buy organic. The rest of the produce that we buy, we don't always buy organic. We try to shop local, but not always organic. So a few stores also carry the pre-paleo foods. I know I shared on my Facebook site, if you guys have seen it, that Walmart now carries paleo food in their freezer section. So there's a few stores that you can get those things now. And that really saves on shipping by not ordering online. So we also are really into meal planning and being very mindful about not wasting foods. When we moved to Delaware, we committed to $150 a week for food. So how do we manage that? And I don't want you guys to miss this point. My family grew by 2 mouths when we moved to Delaware, and our grocery budget decreased drastically. One of the things we did is we made a garden, and we planted fruits and herbs and vegetables that we use the most. So, you know, your lettuces and your tomatoes and cucumbers and squash. If you guys don't have a green thumb or even the space, you can always try those container gardens. That's what I used in Virginia when we didn't have the space. Another thing that you can do is try joining a co-op or shopping at farmers markets. So how can that make a difference? When you guys are buying from the grocery store, you're buying marked up items. Even if it says it's from a local farm, it's being marked up so the farmer and the grocer can make a profit. When you buy directly from a farmer, only the farmer needs to make the profit, so the prices tend to be lower. Another benefit to that is that you're going to start to get to know your farmer, and you can learn how to, just talk to them about how their foods are grown. And just because their food isn't labeled organic, it doesn't mean that it's not grown organically. It just means that the farmer didn't go through all of the processes to get it certified organic. It's really expensive to get that certified. So the same goes for your meats and eggs. Talk to your local farmer or go to a farmer's market and talk to them there, and just kind of ask them how they raise their animals. One thing that we like to do is ask if we can visit their farm. If they say yes, generally their animals are kept really happy, and usually chickens running around everywhere. It's really fun when you have little kids who want to see the chickens. If they tell you no, I would be a little bit more leery about that. So you can, go to farmers markets, talk to the farmers, or join a co-op. So just to check this breakdown, this is generic meat from a local box grocery store in our area. It's $4.69 per pound. This meat's full of antibiotics and from cows on a corn grain diet that probably aren't being treated properly. And then we compare it to a local farmer here in Delaware who sells their grass-fed beef for $4.25 when you buy a quarter or half the cow. That's a great way to save your money. You're going to buy it in bulk, but it's going to pay out in the long run. So also, if hunting is an option, that's a great way to stock your freezer. And I know a lot of you that are on this webinar today, that's an option for you because I can see where you're from. So that's definitely a great way to stock your freezer, or find somebody who does hunt and ask if you can buy meat from them. Buying in bulk also saves a lot of money. People ask me, and I know our October group, this was one of the big topics, is almond flour is so expensive in the store, $10.33, and that's a good deal for it. It's so expensive, but if you can buy it in bulk online, the 25 pounds at $4.95 a pound. Sometimes I do this and I share it with friends in the area, or I break it up into bags and store it in the freezer. It'll last a year in the freezer and 6 months in the fridge. So, it's definitely worth it. And finally, we make most of our meals here at home, and we rarely eat out. So, we don't have to tip our waitress. We don't have to pay for gas. And so there are my tips for saving money. Paleo is not expensive. So hopefully that kind of, I know it's a huge barrier for a lot of people, and it's one of the things that make them not want to go paleo. So hopefully I've pulled the wool back there a little bit to help you guys see that it's not always as it seems. So just think about what I told you, and you can get all of the benefits of going paleo while at the same time spending less on food each week. Can you imagine that? It's kind of a no-brainer, right? All right. Hopefully you guys are still with me, and we're going to keep rolling on to secret number 2. Paleo is not too time-consuming. I really love this one because it's something that my husband and I struggled with at first, but now we spend 3 hours on Sunday shopping and prepping. Then during the week, we spend about 45 minutes cooking each day. So how many of you guys think that you guys are too busy for paleo? I'm sure a lot of you, if you have jobs or kids or sports or things that you're running around and doing after school. Paleo is as time consuming as you want it to be. I love being in the kitchen with my kids and baking with my family, and I'm home all day with them, so it's easy for me to do, and my son really loves to help in the kitchen now. So I make 3 meals a day, and then my son and I will whip up some treats together a couple times a week, and it's fun. But that was not always the case for me. While I've always loved to cook and always helped my family cook in the kitchen, I did not have the time to spend in the kitchen when we first went paleo. My husband works as a government contractor, and he's often on call or working 12 to 14-hour days. And I was a teacher, and my commute was over an hour away. And by the time I got home, it was 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and if you guys know teachers, we come home with a stack of work to do, so I still didn't even have time to do anything. We wouldn't end up eating dinner until like 7:30. And I got into this habit of finding all of these great Pinterest paleo recipes, and then coming home and trying to make dinner, or stopping at the store and getting the ingredients, coming home and making dinner, packing the leftovers, and then trying to wake up and do it all over again. And I just felt like all of my free time was being spent in the kitchen or the grocery store. So it was really hard. And then on the weekends, we were, still trying to catch up from our week and prepare things so we could stay on top of it. And it just did not work for us. So soon we realized that paleo does not have to be time consuming. And we were a really busy family, so I feel like if we can make it work, that anyone can. As we grew in our paleo lifestyle, we discovered the amazing power of meal prep. How many of y'all meal prep? Let's see. Kid, now I'm home all time with Jack. Yep, you can definitely do this stuff, so that's awesome. All right, so I want you to envision this with me. Rather than shopping and cooking multiple times a week, we shopped for all of our food on Sundays. And then we would bring our food home and look over the menu and do a few simple things to cut our prep time in half. We worked together in the kitchen, which if any of you knew my husband 5 years ago, you would be totally shocked. He's now a pretty good cook thanks to paleo. That was definitely an awesome added bonus. So let me break this down for you so you guys can kind of see what our meal planning looks like. Here's a visual of, just a generic meal plan that we have a couple times a month. This is pretty typical for us. So if you look over it, you guys are going to see a few time saver tricks. One, we build it so that we are eating our leftovers. And I think that's one thing that, especially with my clients in the past, one thing that we try to do is make sure you're eating your leftovers. Not only does it save you time with prepping, but it also saves you money. And it's something that you just don't really think about. So I make chickens, cooked chicken on Sunday, and then my leftover chicken is used to create a chicken salad that, we can store in the fridge and eat it throughout the week. We make extra food, each meal so that we can have our leftovers for lunch the next day with salads. And you can also notice that we eat a lot of leftover meats in the omelets or in, different salads or toppings. Using your leftovers not only saves you time, but it also saves you from wasting your food, so it saves you money too. Another thing that I started doing was making extra meals from our leftover ingredients. So anything that I had leftover, veggies or things that I noticed were sitting in my refrigerator at the end of the week, I would throw them in with some meat and put them in a freezer bag, and now you have a perfect crock pot meal. Using the crock pot, by the way, has been the best time-saving tool that I've ever had. So, you throw your meals in there before work, and then boom, when you're at home after a long day, you've got this warm meal ready to go for you. So tip number 2, we keep it really simple. Notice the meal plan uses just a few simple ingredients. We don't have to make gourmet meals every night. I know some of those paleo people have these awesome meals and they look beautiful every day. In our house, sometimes it's not. It's served on, paper plates, and here you go. This is what I cooked up for you. It's simple, it's easy, basic ingredients, things that you would eat in a normal, household, nothing crazy or bizarre. So we can make it simple and easy, and it still tastes amazing and fills us up. I think that's what's important. Tip number 3, we are easily able to make foods in advance to store for the week. So on Sunday, I chop fruits and veggies and put them in containers, or cook some of the meat in advance so that we can grab it if we're having a busy day, with limited time to cook. We eat a lot of eggs and smoothies for breakfast. And we also really learned to utilize that freezer space, something that I didn't do before. So any leftover foods, I'll, like I said, put them in a freezer bag for crock pot meals or leftover muffins, even things like freezing pancakes. I know one of my business partners, that was like an eye-opener for her, was, oh my gosh, you can freeze pancakes. I never thought of it. So, using that freezer space is really key to saving some time. So hopefully you guys think that you can do that. This stuff is stuff that I feel like anyone can do if they just, a little bit of eye-openers, as I'm talking through this, that you can say like, oh, wow, yeah, I can do that. I didn't even think about that to save time. So hopefully it makes a world of difference for you guys, like it did for me, especially when you're first starting out. All right, you guys, so I'm going to let you in on the final secret. And I feel like this one I get a real thrill out of telling you, because this one for me was something that I thought that, it wasn't even possible. So let's do it. You don't have to give up your favorite foods. I know this is the one that you guys have all been waiting for. We all love our foods, and it is not your fault for thinking that you have to give them up if you want to go paleo. This secret is simple, really. Don't let the word diet scare you. People assume that they can no longer eat ice cream or muffins or cupcakes and French fries because they're on a diet. People see the food list and they think they're too limited and they could never do it. I know that I was that way when I first started out. So I'm going to be real with you guys now. Going paleo doesn't mean that you have to give up your favorite foods. Paleo isn't about eating bland, horrible, boring foods and constantly dreading your next meal. Who would do that? I wouldn't even want to do that. So I regularly cook up paleo-friendly meals that all of my non-paleo friends love and beg me to make for them. So I feel like the funny part is that people don't even believe me when I tell them that it's paleo. Half of them are like, oh no, this is too good to be paleo. You can't seriously eat that. I remember, on Sunday I made these egg biscuits for my husband. He gets to church early and, he's always hungry. So I got up extra early and made him these egg biscuits and gave it to him. And I had like 6 people run up to me. What are you eating? How can you eat that? I thought you didn't eat that. And I was like, nope, this is paleo. So naturally that recipe got shared really fast with my community of friends. So I want you guys to just really take a look for yourself. Look at these foods. These are all paleo foods. People are generally floored when I put this kind of stuff on the table and they know that they can eat it. And when I tell them that it's paleo, they all say, no way, you can't eat dessert. It's not paleo. So, I feel like people take one look at the food list and then they have no vision about how to make those foods work. They don't see how blueberries and almonds can be turned into these delicious blueberry muffins. So I'm really excited for you guys to try some of these amazing foods soon. And when we are busy or want to go out on a date night, we still have our favorite places that we can go that are paleo approved right here in Delaware. One of our favorites is Del Pez in Newark. If you guys, any of you Delaware locals have tried it, it's awesome. And, they really work with our dietary needs and already know things about at least gluten-free. So, that's one thing that we talk to our wait staff about when we first get there is, hey, do you have a gluten-free menu? Okay, and then we start from there to figure out how we can eat out. And, sometimes we can even eat at Chick-fil-A on occasion. So if you guys have little kids and you think, I can't do this because my kids need fast food, Chick-fil-A is a great option. So the truth is that paleo doesn't mean giving up on going out to eat or hanging out with friends, going to parties or doing whatever you like to do. I find that I can eat almost anywhere and stay paleo as long as I'm prepared. All right, so I hope that these tips were fun and helpful for you guys. But let me ask you a question. How would you like if I could actually help implement this stuff for you? So I do have something to sell on this webinar, and if you guys are okay with that, I'd love to share it with you. If not, that's totally fine, but you know, I think that this stuff is going to be super helpful. Awesome. I see that, please. Great. So I'm super excited to go over this with you. My team and I have worked really hard together to put a program called Paleo Next Door, 21 Days to Make It Stick. This is a 3-week program that guides you through your paleo journey. It's a hold your hand system that takes the guesswork out of going paleo and provides a strong, like-minded support network. You know, I talked about needing a support system and a team of people, and this is really what this program is all about. Seriously, this program is going to help you conquer paleo, and it's really something that I could have only dreamed of when my husband and I first went paleo 5 years ago. When we went paleo, there was nothing available like this for us, so I'm really thrilled to be able to present this to you guys today. So I want you guys to check out the awesome products that we've created for you. And we are going to have our November group signing up soon. So we'll be kicking it off on November 1st and then wrapping up before Thanksgiving. So you guys don't dread Thanksgiving like we did our first year of paleo. And, you know, I really hope that you guys are going to join today to transition to paleo in just 21 days. And this is going to be everything that you need to succeed on your paleo journey. So just going to go over the details with you guys. So here's the first thing that you guys are going to get. We're going to work together to build your blueprint from scratch. I'll personally jump on a call with you and then give you a tailored 21 day-by-day meal plan that finally gets you the results that you need. This is your personalized paleo blueprint. So make no mistake, this blueprint is absolutely crucial if you want to make paleo stick long-term, which is the goal here, right? Hopefully for all of you. So the second thing you guys are going to get is access to our private paleo shopping guide. As a paleo beginner, it was so hard to walk into the grocery store and figure out the ingredients that we needed to buy. So don't worry, this is something that I really have you covered on. We'll guide you through those first few shopping trips, and we'll show you the products that I buy weekly or things that I keep stockpiled in my house. And we'll also provide you with your very own shopping guides and meal plans. So let me recap. Your personalized paleo blueprint valued at $150. Access to our private paleo shopping guide valued at $100, a $250 value. Next, you guys are going to get your very own on-tap paleo advisor. And through this WhatsApp group, it is really a direct access to me and my team of experts. We have people available all day. So whenever you're out shopping, even if it's late at night and you have a question or a concern, if you're meal prepping, you guys are going to be able to have someone that you can just text and get into contact with right away. So, you know, you're not going to ever be left wondering, is this paleo or not? You know, just shoot me a message and then you'll have your definitive answer and no more guesswork, right? So you guys are also going to get the Paleo Eat Out experience. This is where you'll have a chance to find out exactly how I stay paleo when I eat out. Access to the Paleo Eat Out experience is where you'll learn the exact process just to ensure that I always order the right food from the menu every time. And I'll show you how you can go out for meals at almost any restaurant without breaking paleo. So you guys will never have to worry about that again. And it's one of those things where I even helped our last clients. You know, they would send me a picture of their menu and I would help them go through it or talk to them through WhatsApp about what they can and cannot eat. Or they would send me their favorite restaurants and I would go through that list for them and tell them exactly what they could eat on the menu already. So let's recap this again. You guys are going to get your personalized paleo blueprint, your paleo shopping guide, your on-tap paleo advisor, and the ultimate paleo eat out experience. So there is more. You guys are also going to get a frequent booster email. And our last group, this was one of the things they said was their favorite. So throughout this challenge, it's important that you know that I'm right there with you every step of the way. That's why I'll send you frequent emails to your inbox with what I like to call paleo boosters. And these are just private emails that contain extra things that will keep you motivated and focused along the way. Like videos revealing, you know, more secrets that I have for you, killer tips and tricks that I uncovered throughout my own 5-year journey. So along with those, you guys are also going to get a few other goodies here, a 21-day journal to keep track. You guys are going to get weekly hangout sessions. We'll log on together as a team and you guys can ask me, you know, questions that you had throughout the week or, you know, we can talk about any health issues that you had in the past that, you know, we can try and find different ways, different foods that can help heal your body. You're going to get a paleo starter guide, and then just a shopping guide and meal plans, cheat sheet information. These are just lists of, like, quick visuals of things that were paleo or things that go along with the program. And then you guys are also going to get, make ahead recipes and ideas, foods that I stock up on my pantry with recommendations, downloadable recipes that are only available for you guys. We also have a community Facebook group. And along the way, we also have some really fun group challenges. So here is a visual of everything that you guys are going to get. Paleo blueprint, the shopping guide, your on-tap paleo advisor, Paleo Eat Out experience, the booster emails and videos, and then Paleo Next Door goodies. So that's a value of $800. So you guys might be wondering, why should I buy this program? So let me ask you a question. If all of this did for you was give you an experience that enhanced your lifestyle, is that worth it? If all that it did was help you shed the pounds faster than you ever thought possible, would that be worth it? If all that it did was resolve your health issues and give you a new lease on life, is that worth it for you? If all that it did was give you a positive outlook on foods and the incredible healing power they have, is that worth it? I definitely think that it is, of course, right? So you can see why this is such an amazing deal. And I know in my heart that this is seriously improving lives, and that's really my goal, and that's what I'm doing all of this for. So today I'm not going to charge you $800. I could, from my past clients, they're like, only this price, it should be more, I would have paid more. It's been amazing. But you guys have stuck with me through all of this, and I really want to help you out. And so we've decided to do something special and give the entire program away, including all of the bonuses and everything you've seen here today, for just $7. And this is a one-time offer. So for those on the webinar today, you guys are going to be the second group to go through this program, and we'd love to work with you and have you guys test the product with us. All that we ask is that you complete the 21 days and then send us your before and after results. And that can be, your photos, your health improvements, or just any little successes here, along the way. So because this program isn't just for buying, it's for completing. And I'm making you guys a bold promise that this program is going to make your paleo diet stick. And as a result, you'll gain health, lose weight, and look at your life from a new perspective. You'll have more energy and happiness and be sleeping better. So if I can't deliver on that promise, I don't deserve your money. So your choices are, I figure you have two choices, right? You can do nothing, close the webinar, and don't take the leap of faith. And I feel like you can do that for sure. I've given a ton of value away for you guys that you can already start applying to your life if you want. But I just want to let you know that what you've seen here today on the webinar is only a fraction of the value that I'm offering on the program. So your second choice is to take some time and invest in you. I've done this, and I've been through the transition, and I know what's on the other side, and I really want you guys to experience that with me. So one more time, let me just share with you guys what you're going to get on the program. Personalized paleo blueprint, paleo shopping click, your on-tap paleo advisor, the Paleo Eat Out experience, Paleo booster emails and videos, and all of those great Paleo Next Door goodies. So total value of $800, but as you know, that is not what I'm going to charge you guys today. So for just $7, you guys, this is a steal. What the clients have gotten after this in their 21 days, and I know some of them are just now wrapping up the program. They have had some amazing life-changing results that I was just talking to one of the clients before I started this webinar, and it got me kind of emotional just thinking about it and sharing this with you guys. So anyway, so here is another offer that I'm going to have for you guys. For the first people that sign up for the program today, you're also going to get a copy of my cookbook. These are really family favorite recipes that we turned into paleo because I love my family recipes and I missed them. So I made them paleo. And so this is full of simple, easy recipes that anyone can make. Just basic ingredients, nothing crazy or, wild. It's just things that, most people have in their house already. And this is something I worked really hard on. So you'll find that each recipe shares my inspiration and love for the dishes. So while you guys are thinking about it, I just want to share with you what a couple of the people who have already done the program are saying. One of our clients lost 8 pounds in a week, and by day 5 already had so much more energy. One of our clients is feeling great, no caffeine. He went totally caffeine free. He's eating mostly protein and enjoying big salads, things that he said that he never thought of before on how to eat differently. And that was really an eye-opener for him, is that he didn't eat vegetables before and never really paid attention to it. But through the program and the meal plans, he really was open to that. He didn't eat enough vegetables. So another client lost 10 pounds in a week. By day 6, she had more energy and motivation at work, and her daughter, her newborn daughter, already had less acid reflux and gas as a result of her eating. So that was pretty cool. And her skin also was noted that she had better skin too. So we also had one client who was borderline hypoglycemic and didn't have a single episode while she was eating strict paleo. She's since, added some things, non-paleo foods in, and has noticed a change in that she's not as balanced as she was when she was being strict paleo. So I see some of you are asking. So here's what you need to do. I'm going to show the offer here. If you guys can see it, it should pop up for you. You can go ahead and add to the cart there, or you can go to this link here and sign up through that link there. So as you guys are going through that, I'm going to go ahead and start our 20-minute question and answer time. And I get that some of you guys have to log off, so I'm going to thank you guys now for joining us. And if you guys have any questions, please stay and ask me any questions that you have. And it can be things like, what do I eat? Flours. I think a lot of the questions are, can I use almond flour and coconut flour at the same time? And so we can talk about those kinds of things. But this question and answer time, let me just start getting that ready for you. So to do the question and answers, you guys can use the task bar on the side, the chat on the side, or the question box on the side too. Let me make sure that's turned on for you. There you go. Okay, so let's see if any questions. Ashley Zielinski, you are loving the cookbook. That's awesome. I'm glad that you enjoy it. So let me just say, all right, I see a couple of you guys signing up. Awesome. All right. Some of the questions that we've had in the past, and I'll just get the ball rolling with questions. And if you guys can think of questions as I'm talking, you can go ahead and chat with the question, the Q&A button on the side, or the chat box button, whichever one you prefer. So some of the questions that we've gotten in the past are, how do I make, old recipes that I've always enjoyed with, regular blanched flour that has gluten in it? How do I make those recipes into paleo recipes? And one thing a lot of people have tried to do is just take, your almond flour and your coconut flour and put it right in and try to use that as like a one-to-one substitute. And so, that's a big one that I get. And you can't just substitute the almond flours for regular flour. You have to really kind of work with those recipes, or, Google or search around for the recipes, to really find things that would match that. I know there's a company coming out with a paleo flour that they are trying to make as their one-to-one flour. So the other thing is, almond flour and coconut flour are not the same flour. So if you see a recipe that has almond flour in it, don't use coconut flour for a replacement. I know that seems to be a huge mistake that people make, and it really does not work out well. You have to follow the recipes. The paleo flours tend to be a little bit tricky to work with, but once you get the hang of it, or if you really follow the recipes exactly how they're laid out, that tends to be the best way to do it. So what do I need to do in the next few days before I start paleo? How do I prepare? And that's a great question. I think that was one of the things that I really messed up on when we first started going paleo, because I definitely was not prepared. I didn't know anything about paleo. I didn't really, I had one food list that I knew I could eat. And so 3 days before Thanksgiving, before traveling home and being with family and all the foods from, the Thanksgivings I've had forever, that was really one of the things that I dreaded, and I didn't know what to do. So my recommendations are to completely purge your pantry. And I know that sounds horrible, and people are like, no, I'm wasting food and throwing it away. But I noticed people and even clients from previous programs is that if they're not purging their pantry, they do this thing where they'll not grocery shop, and then they'll say, well, I just have to eat what's in my house. And then they go off of paleo because they're trying to eat all of the non-paleo foods that are in their house. So get rid of it. Get rid of the junk and the sugar now, so that you have to grocery shop all paleo. You don't want to have anything in your house that's going to tempt you. So that's my first one. The second is, when you buy into the program, you're going to get a welcome packet from me that gives you a journal and meal plans and shopping guides and everything that you need right there, so that you guys can follow it. And there's also a checklist. So, you'll be able to see exactly how to prepare and go paleo. I would say the second part of that is you have me. So if there's something that you're unsure of, something that you don't know, or any questions that you have me and my team to really help guide you and prep you as you are leading up to that day. So follow your emails and reach out to me as you are starting that journey. Can you find paleo foods in Weiss Market? Yes. So that was one thing, because this is an online program, you can do it anywhere in the world. And one of the things that happened a lot in our previous program is that people would send me their grocery stores and say, can I, buy paleo foods here? And really, I think that's the one cool thing about, a lot of the cookbooks and recipes that I have written and created, is that I use foods that you can find almost anywhere. Honestly, I shop a lot at Walmart. They have a great natural food section that people don't really pay attention to because it's mixed in with all the other things. So their almond flour is cheaper. Their coconut flour is cheaper. They have Enjoy Life chocolate chips that are soy-free, nut-free, dairy-free. They have great options. So really, paleo is kind of starting a food revolution, and people are paying attention to it. And so products are becoming more and more easy to find in your locations. Like I said earlier, there are even pre-made paleo foods at your freezer, section in Walmart or Target, and I believe Giant and Acme here in the area also carry them. So wherever you shop, that's where you can find paleo foods. So if you have, grocery stores that have produce and meat, you're set. You're good to go. One of the things that people tend to struggle finding or aren't sure about where to find are your, almond flours or, all of those paleo baked goods, baking ingredients. And really now you can get them anywhere, especially if you have like a natural food or you really want to look for like your gluten-free section. So that, if that helps. And also on the program, if you guys are in the grocery store and you're not sure where to find something, just text me, through WhatsApp, and we can help you guys figure that out too. So those are good questions. Let's see. Is gluten-free the same as paleo? So that's a big one, gluten-free and paleo. So paleo is gluten-free, but gluten-free is not paleo. So people who are paleo don't eat gluten. Our diets are just naturally gluten-free. We avoid the bread, the over-processed stuff and things like that. But people who are gluten-free are still eating sugar and dairy and legumes and things like that. So they aren't, just because you're gluten-free doesn't mean that you are healthier. It just means that you have taken the gluten out, which is a huge gut it inflames your gut. But sugar is also one of the most damaging foods that you're putting in your body. So if you're experiencing things like inflammation, thyroid disease, heart disease, anxiety and stress and depression, sugar is something that you guys should really start to take out of your diet. So paleo and gluten-free are very different diets. I don't like the word diet. I shouldn't say diet. Lifestyles. Have you seen paleo heal thyroid problems? Yes. So that's a good question. One of the girls who I follow, her name is Diane Sanfilippo. She suffered from thyroid disease, and there's also, I believe it's the Paleo Mom. I'm not sure about that, but I can definitely send you some articles and links about thyroid disease and paleo. So thyroid disease is inflammation. And one of the things that if you suffer from that, we definitely talk about taking out gluten and sugar right away. And you're going to start to see results from that already. But that in detail, I can definitely tell you thyroid disease is a huge one that a lot of people go paleo to help heal their body through that. So I have a lot of articles and things that I can send you about thyroid disease. Just a couple more minutes if you guys have more questions. And it can be anything that you guys, it could be paleo food lists or what's on the paleo diet. If you guys are totally new to paleo at all, anything like that. So vitiligo, I believe, if that's the skin, is that the skin issue where your skin discolors? Okay. So I just happened to read an article about paleo helping reverse vitiligo by Rob Wolf. It's ROBBWOLF. So he's a big paleo person. So I just read an article about someone who had a son who had vitiligo, and they started losing the color around their eyes. So basically, vitiligo is an autoimmune disease, and so I can definitely send you stuff about an autoimmune disease. I know one of the programs that we are working on is talking about autoimmunity and how paleo can affect your autoimmune disease. So there have been tons of testimonials through this article, and I'm going to share it with you guys. About how paleo can reverse that. Once I can find it, if I can find it, I will definitely share that with you. So autoimmune disease is a big topic for a lot of people who are looking to go paleo for health reasons. I noticed that a lot of people, some people go for weight loss, strictly weight loss. Some people go for health, and then some people are just curious to see what it's all about. Autoimmune disease seems to be one of the major reasons people tend to go paleo, is because they're trying to cure it, and they're sick of the doctors telling them that you need this medication to cure this disease and this medication to cure the disease that you got from your other medication. And I think a lot of people just get fed up with that. So I notice, that's one of the things that people really start to, there we go. Thank you, Gia. Great job. So this article that was just posted in the chat box is what I read about vitiligo. So it was interesting. And I think with this, you really want to read the comments. And I think that's where you're going to get the most of your information from real life people like us who actually used paleo to cure their diseases. And I think anytime I send you articles, it's usually the comments that I'm like, oh, you should read the comments from this. One thing that my husband and I started doing was adding cod liver oil to our diets. And I know it sounds really gross, and a lot of people are not um, into taking cod liver oil, but it's a really good supplement if you guys are dealing with health issues to look into, and that's something that we definitely talk more about through our program. So kids and paleo. We had 2 clients last time who their kids were not vegetable eaters, and they talked a lot about, how do I get my kids to eat paleo? So in the cookbook, there's a lot of recipes that kids, my son helps me make them. So there's a lot of recipes that kids can help you make. And I just wrote a blog about raising your kids or turning your kids paleo or getting them on board to eat paleo with you. And so I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, because for me, it was easy because my kids, they just grew up that way. But they also are some great tips. Like, my son went through a little bit of a picky stage where he would only eat certain things, and he wasn't eating dark leafy greens. So we do a lot of shakes, smoothies that we can shove a ton of, fruits and veggies into that they can drink and have, in the morning, and just to give them that good dose of nutrients and vitamins that they need to kickstart their day. So even if they aren't eating veggies for every meal, at least they're getting, a little bit of good stuff. So I'd say if your kids are not on board with paleo, start small. Really talk to them about how foods can heal your body and how, they see you eating differently. And I think you, as the parent, you're really the one that's setting the example, and they're gonna, watch you and see if mommy eats her broccoli, then maybe I should eat my broccoli. And for my son, we tell him that it gives him muscles. So we've had several embarrassing moments where he runs around telling people that he has muscles from broccoli. But I think that kids eating paleo is tough, but I always say start finding things that they do like and making sure that you're adding those into every, meal plan. So if your kids really like carrots, make sure you always have those stockpiled. If it's cooked carrots, always have them available. And also with vegetables, one of the things we've noticed is that, so my son won't eat cooked carrots, but he'll eat raw carrots. And we figured that out. So even if your kids don't like the vegetables the first time you make them, try making them a different way. And then, have your kids try them again. And don't force them to eat them. But just say, if you taste this and if you like it, you can keep eating it. If you don't like it, that's fine. And as you keep, adding in the veggies and they keep seeing you eat them and you keep making them different ways, I find that really helps your kids to start changing. And I know for one of our other clients, that's really what made it different for her, is instead of just steaming all of her vegetables like she was born and raised doing, she started making them differently. And that really helped her kids to realize that, oh, I can eat broccoli in like a, broccoli nugget instead of just like, steamed broccoli. So I think transitioning kids and your spouses along the way, that can be tough, but I think that it's possible. And that's definitely something that, if you have questions about, like Gia is sending right now to you, that's stuff that we can help you and really customize your paleo plan to you. So about 3 minutes left. Did you guys have any more questions? And then even if you guys, are still not sure, or if you think that this program could help somebody else that you know and they weren't on this webinar, it is being recorded, and it's something that we will be sending out to you guys again so you can review it. And You can also share with your friends and family. Like if you are alone in this and you want, friends to join you, but they weren't on the webinar, it's not too late for them. They can still sign up. So if you buy into it and you want your friends to join you for the November group, go ahead and share the link with them. You can share the, paleo8020.com buy now with them, and so that they can also join you on this journey. I feel like the more people that you have surrounding you that are paleo, it makes it easier on you. I know as I've gone on this journey, my friends who were paleo, those are who we ended up hanging out with the most because it was just easier to hang out with them. So don't feel like, you have to be alone on this. This is definitely something where we have a community of people that are in it together. And our group from last time is going to be there to support you through the Facebook page. So they have a lot of good answers and questions from the, just going through the 21-day program. And if you guys have questions later and you want to email me privately, you can do that too. So it looks like some people are having issues with the buy now. So I will also, if you guys are having issues signing up, but you want to sign up, it seems like some people are getting a 404 error. So we can, we'll send the link out in an email to everyone who is on here if you guys are having issues signing up. So Amanda, you did the Whole30 challenge before. It seemed to do well. Good. So yeah, Whole30 is a little bit more strict than our program. So the foods that Whole30 is no fruit, no paleo baked goods. So our program's a little bit easier, so you can see how paleo is really like living paleo. So hopefully this will be a little bit easier and make you want to stick with it, since it's a little bit more how I live on the paleo diet and not a super strict form of paleo. And it looks like the buy now link was posted here. So if you were having trouble before, you can click on that and see if that link works for you as well. And again, we will email you guys the links and the webinar in case anybody wants to sign up but is just not sure about it right now. Or if you still have questions that you want to make it stick. So that is our time. If you guys have more questions that we didn't get to, or I know sometimes with the technology, it's tough to ask those questions, or you might have personal questions that you want to ask that aren't shared with the entire webinar right now, feel free to email me, or you can get in touch with me at paleo8020.com. But I want to thank you guys for joining us on the webinar, and I hope that you guys got some helpful information, even if you guys didn't sign up for the 21-day program. But hopefully you will, and I look forward to joining you in the November group. So take care, guys. I hope you guys have a great night.